Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Kaiju number 8 video. This time we're gonna be talking about the Uniparts and the best in-slot Uniparts for every single character. Now you're gonna see me repeating characters on different slots, on different Uniparts that they can use multiple one of them. And I will tell you what's the best for them actually. And it doesn't 100% require to be the best for them sometimes, but depending on the lineup and the strategy that you want to go and approach. So if you want to play dot damage, of course, effect accuracy is the thing that you want to go for. Or multiplying the damages if they have dots, if you're playing a dot team or a debuff team. So everybody that has debuff, you're going to accelerate with your damages. Especially if you lost hope on gathering crit rate on some units, because you can't get the crit rate above like 50% to guarantee yourself a crit rate. You can't play crit damage because you don't have crit rate consistent. So you're going to push with attack and push with ultimate damage or more damage to the enemies, just simply because of the raw fact that you have a lot of attack and you increase your damages against debuffs. So we're gonna be talking about all of this and I'm gonna explain them. But first, I wanna tell you this, okay? Listen, I'm not salty, okay? I'm not salty, but I'm so sick and tired. I'm trying to find guides. I'm trying to find people, content creators, YouTubers, anybody that's making like something really good for the community to make these kind of guides. Like I spent like 2 hours testing on units. I have 3 accounts, right? And I have the characters. I built on 3 accounts, like on my main account, I built some units. I didn't build them on other accounts that I want to test different shit on. I went and built characters that I will never use just to test them out with these sets. How did they perform? I leveled everybody to level 60 and I did, or level 60 because only my main account has level 70. And I asked a little bit of help from different people. So I hope you appreciate this video. Drop a like, maybe sub. And thank you all for all of the help that you've been giving me. The community is wild. I love Kaiju number 8. This community reminds me when I started with the Overlord community. Best 2 communities that I ever have interacted with. Again, we have a Discord. If you want, you can join our Discord. I reply most of the time when I'm available. There's a lot of people, different people with super nice giga brain that will help you with team comp synergies. They will answer you, they will help you out with everything. So if you want to go and join the description, the link for the Discord is in the description. So join, don't be shy, and whenever you don't like it, you don't want to be there anymore, you can just remove yourself from the Discord. That's how easy it is. Whenever you don't like the video, just remove your like, unsubscribe. So it's not that hard. I'm not asking for money, I'm asking for your support for me. Anyway, let's start with this. It took me a lot of time to do this. Yeah, I'm happy and proud of what I did. I couldn't find the programs and the applications, so I used some things online, as you see here. It's really nice. You might see them that are very small, but they're not small actually. I'm gonna be clicking on them and we're gonna read everything, right? So I did a lot of good work here. So best in slot, Uniparts for every character, and many characters are repeatedly used on different slots because they are versatile and you can play them. But there's some characters that you only simply need to play them on a specific set, okay? We'll be talking about that. Let me first of all zoom in so we can talk. Okay, so we have the Ant set and the Wyvern set at the start. So the Ant set, what does the Ant set say? Ultimate gauge charge rate, it gives you HP. So the main stat that you get is almost 50% HP and ultimate gauge charge rate by 20%, okay? This is huge for units that you depend on their ultimate so you can progress more or do your combo or do something, right? There's many units that you will be super happy to play this on them, specifically somebody like Rio or somebody like Akari with her healing if you want to heal a lot, or maybe with the battle buddy with Hoshina because you want him to do his ultimate. I think because he gives crit damage, yep, and speed. This will be huge. All the supports basically can play this one. It's a really good set. Especially Mina, she can play this one because she will apply her ultimate all the time, okay? So characters that are really good with that. So first of all, special, I'm just gonna talk about that. You can play Esau here. Why Esau is playing with Ant set? Because he gets the bonus in HP and he gets to use his ultimate with high damage, but it doesn't affect his ultimate damage, right? But you're gonna spam your ultimate, but we don't use it because of the ultimate. We use it because we increase his HP, so he will be more tanky. It's depending on you. I highly don't recommend for you to play Esau with this set, right? He will get effect resistance, of course. if you wanna read the when the equipped character his HP is more than 50%, they're gonna get effect resistance up by almost 25%, which is huge. Okay, so they don't get the dodge, stunned shenanigans. Now, one of the best units to play this with is Akari. Why Akari? Because you're gonna spam her ultimate with the healing. So every time she does something, plus you're gonna increase her HP. This is the best set, best in slot set for her. Basically, if you play other sets, it's okay, but this is the best one because she heals depending on the percentages of her HP. So the more that you build her on HP, she's gonna heal better. Plus, she will increase her gauge for her ultimate. It means she's gonna ult more every 3 turns, every 3 times she attack. Whenever she gets attacked also, and her effect resistance will be high, it means less chances to be stunned, frozen, slowed, or anything else. So she will be super tanky with the HP, plus she's gonna heal a lot, which is the best slot for her. Now, of course, you can play it on Mina, just for the fact that she's a support, she gets a lot of HP, she's tanky, bulky, plus she's gonna go and increase her rate to do her ultimate, so she will help your team with the buffs, which is really great. It will keep you consistent because the morale, if she does the ultimate and the enemy or the unit that have morale on your lineup would be, it would help them a lot. I didn't include, yes, you can if you want, right? Hoshina, if you want the SR Hoshina or the 4-star Hoshina, if you want to play him with HP and ultimate gauge rock, you can play him, but we care about his second skill using or his combat skill, using his combat skill. And then we need him to be speedy. We need him to be increasing his attack because he does a lot of damage actually. This unit is really good. Again, the best in slot for KG is Ant set. You increase his HP. I know he deals a lot of damage according to his attack, but it does not matter with the poison damage. You want him to increase his ultimate. His ultimate stuns a unit for a single turn. So you need him to keep gaining the gauge for his ultimate to stun every single unit, which is really great. Best in slot, in my opinion, it's not only in my opinion, this is everybody's opinion actually, the Ant set for Rio. Rio, absolutely, his ultimate gives you an attack speed buff, an attack buff for the entire team. So you want to spam his ultimate, so this will be helpful. So 2 rounds, you're gonna get that buff. The 3rd round, it gets removed and he gets a turn. He attacked because every 3 rounds he increases his gauge with every attack that he does. On the 3rd round, he's gonna apply it again. So your rate up, or you're at 100% attack buff, speed buff, rate up with him. So this is the best set for him. Let's talk about Iharu. So Iharu, you can play him on different sets. I'll be talking about the second set, but this is if you want to play him only on HP, so he can be tanky and bulky a little bit. This will help him out and he will accumulate more and more so he can spam his ultimate. And his ultimate is one of the best ultimates in the game, in my opinion, because it's defense down by 21%, which is huge. Base 21% goes up to 30%, I think, if I'm not mistaken. You can check it out in the skill description if you max it to level 10. A huge debuff, minus defense, 20% plus, absolutely huge. This is why we need his ultimate. But if you don't want to play him as a support, you can play him as a carry as well with the debuff. We're going to be talking about that. Now, Kaguragi. Kaguragi absolutely is a beast. He's a good damage dealer, a debuffer. He does wind damage, different to anybody else. He, with his passive, applies whenever he does a destruction to PLT, he does increase his defenses and his attack by his own, so it's huge. Plus, why we're giving him the HP set, because he heals himself by a portion of his maximum HP. So we can play him on HP set, increasing his HP actually and making him heal every single time he does an attack, which is absolutely insane for this unit. Absolutely beautiful. I like this unit. He's really, really decent. Now, Izumo is a special unit that I love to play. I can play him in many different sets. Now, this set is cool for him. So he applies speed down, he removes a buff from the enemy, and he actually does attack down also to the enemy with his combat skill, which is a decent unit. I would love to play him on different lineups. Now, you want him to stay surviving, so you want him to tank a little bit of hits. He does decent amount of damages, not the highest. He does not capitalize on damages, actually. He's a tactical unit. He's a debuffer. He's one of the craziest debuffers in the game. So if you want to play him on HP, and you want this gauge to be as much as possible on him, so he can spam his ultimate, remove all the buffs from the enemies, that would be absolutely huge. Now, this is for this set. Now, of course, you can play different characters on this set, on the Ant set. You can also go and play a carry on the Ant set if you think that they are, you want them on HP and you want them to spam their ultimate and you want effect resistance on them, depending on how you have a perspective for this game. But of course, I don't encourage anybody to play carries on an HP set unless this carry does a portion of his damage by his maximum HP or her maximum HP. Then I will tell you, go play them by the maximum HP. Now, for Wyvern set. Wyvern set is absolutely a great set. I don't know if this is fitting the screen. Well, it's a little bit. So it basically gives you a speed buff by 10%, which is huge, and effect resistance almost by 23%. And after activating a combat skill, applies attack for 1 turn to all allies. This is strictly for supports, right? Now the downside of this, it will not give you an attack buff, or it will not give you attack, crit rate, HP, defense. It will give you only speed and effect resistance. You need them to be tanky, or you need to play in defensive way with them. This is why I use this set on Mina and I use it on Hoshina. Both of them is great on this set because I'm playing Esau with them. Now we're playing Esau, he's gonna give shields, so he will mitigate the damages that they take, and then they can play this one and buff the entire team with attack for 1 round with the buffs of their attack. They are separate, different instances of buffing of attack. So you get 2 buffs from him, 2 buffs from Mina, and 2 buffs, or stacking this buff twice on your allies on the same turn, and then you will do extra damages. Now, I highly recommend this one to be played on Mina, on Hoshina, and on Rio. Why Rio? Also, he does attack by his passive, an attack buff for everybody. Plus, he will buff you with his ultimate. Plus, you're gonna give him more speed, so he can go and rotate even more. Effect resistance for him to survive and not take damages, freeze, or slow, or anything, so he can apply this successfully. And then you're gonna go and apply another stack. And with the testing that we did, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate or this will change in the future, or it's not supposed to work like this. If you're having Wyvern set on 2 characters on your lineup or 3 characters on your lineup, you're gonna get 3 stacks or 2 stacks depending on how many you have. So this one will be 12.4, then another 12.4, that's 24.8, then another 12.4, which will be huge actually to buff your entire lineup with this one. This is actually good if your carry is the slowest or is the last one in the turn, and then you buffed everybody by using this. But it's when you activate a combat skill, okay? You need to understand that it's when activating combat skill, then you apply the attack to all allies, okay? This is what I'll be talking about it. Now, of course, you can play Akari as a healer with speed and effect resistance, and she will buff as well. So if you're playing a lineup that is super defensive, that does not have attacking buffs all round, and you want her to do healing, so she heals off her maximum HP. Her heals are good, even if you didn't play her on Ant set. If you're playing her on Wyvern set, she will be good for resisting some damages or some debuffs, so she can go and actually do her healing. And whenever she uses her second skill, which means heals a single target, she will go and apply attack on everybody else. So if you don't have an attacker, your Wyvern set, or you don't have a buffer, your Wyvern set will be the attack buffer for everybody else. Now, of course, if you're playing a carry that is based on his maximum HP, in the future we're gonna get one like that, or on their maximum defense, on their maximum effect accuracy or effect resistance, doesn't matter. This attack buff with the Wyvern will not be good because you want to buff them by the buff that they need, right? If they need a buff by defense or HP, then you're not gonna be playing this one on them, okay? We'll be talking about it when these characters will be launched. Now, Izumo, another unit that you can play him on speed and effective resistance. Why on speed? So he can rinse and recycle and go and push and go in front of the enemies and use his skills to apply the debuffs. You have 3 debuffs, which is absolutely huge for this character. Now, we're gonna talk about Bovine or Bovine set. One of the good sets actually for tankers or for shielders, especially for shielders. It's for shielders, not for anybody else. You can play it on different characters, but you're not gonna get the bonus of the shield multiplier. So, damage taken reduction by 16%. You can play it on anybody, like any support, any tank, maybe a little bit on carries if you like to play it on carries. If they use shields, I would say play it on them if you want to. But it's only damage reduction, does not buff anything else except defense, and damage reduction does not buff HP. Shield application multiplier by 24%. It means if you play it on Esau, his shields will be super thick. At the start of the battle, recovers 1 SP. Now, at the start of the battle, what they mean here, and what I understood and what I saw during the testing, it's at the start of the battle, when you go into a battle missing the SP, the start of the battle will give you 1 SP. So if you're playing 2 units with this one, it will give 2 SP because this one stacks, so it works on 2. Each time the equipped unit receives an attack, the equipped unit defense increased by 7.5, max at 3 stacks, which is huge for Esau. Esau is maybe the best one here to get benefits from that because his shields is thicker the more that he has defense. So he buffs his defense. When he applies the shield, gets attacked, he gets defense buff, plus from the Bovine set or Bovine set, he gets another stack. Similar to him, you can play our bad boy, Kota. Now, Kota, it's according to his passive. So it's one of the sets that you're going to see me putting him on many sets. One of the sets is Bovine set, which is great for him. Why? If he attacks with his auto attack a target or a kaiju that has a debuff, he will apply a shield according to 10% of his defense. It goes up even if, or not 10%, I think it's less, but it becomes more than 10%. So according to his defense with a certain type of HP, he puts a shield, apply a shield on himself, which is really huge. So if you want to play him and stack him on defenses, this is the Bovine set, and he will apply a shield, and the shield will be actually huge because you're gonna be playing him with the Bovine set. So the multiplier will give him by 24%. Absolutely beautiful. Now, when we get different characters with shield effects, Bovine set will be the best in slot for them. Let's continue and talk about now Lizard set. Okay, so the Lizard type Unipart is best in slot for many characters, okay? And it's not the other one. I'll be talking about it and I'll explain why, because it's super hard to gain crit rate in this game, right? So it gives you an attack buff, which is huge, almost 50%, and almost 30% crit rate, which is perfect for your carries. Before the equipped unit activates, ultimate applies damage dealt by 25% for 2 turns on this specific unit, so it buffs its own self, applies damage dealt. It doesn't matter if the damage coming from your defense, if it's coming from your attack, from your HP, it's the damage, not buffing the attack, not buffing the HP, buffing the damage, the total damage inflicted by the end, okay? So it does not matter if it's a shot damage, electric damage, burn damage, wind damage, it will always buff it by 25%. Huge. Now, who are the best candidate? Now, of course, Reno. Now, Reno, if you have his weapon maxed, you might not need crit rate anymore. So Lizard set is the second best in slot for him, not the first. For me, I will always play it because I have 1 loop of his weapon, and until I level him up, until I unlock his skills that will give him maybe crit rate in the future, I cannot play him, or maybe duping him will give him crit rate. I didn't completely read if it does or not. Let me know in the comments. But Lizard set is not the best for him. It's Fungal. We'll be talking about it when we get there. So for Gen absolutely needs the Lizard set, okay? All of his damages is with the attack, and he buffs his speed and everything. And he gets here more attack and crit rate. His base crit damage is 50%, and it will go more in the future, depending on the weapons, if you upgrade them or something like that, and his duping. So you want to play him on crit rate, and he will absolutely destroy. So this is a crit rate set. Lizard set, it's attack and crit rate, and damage dealt in the end by 2 times if you unlock your ultimate. Of course, for Kikoru, it's absolutely huge. Also for her, she needs the crit rate. These are the best in slot for all of these units, by the way. For Mina as well, she needs crit rate. Now, when he transforms, his equipment is getting removed, but before he transforms, Lizard set could be nice on him, so you can play him on that. Basically, he could play on any set, right? You can put him on every single set. It does not matter. For me, to be honest, I didn't put him in this set. Where is it? I think Wyvern set, because you want him to start immediately. Or no. Actually, Ant set is the best set for him. Yes, Ant set. My bad. I didn't put him here. I should. Can I copy you? Copy. Here we go. So basically, him. What happens here? So he will get super HP. He doesn't get 1 shot at the start of the battle. You're gonna go and accumulate ultimate charge rate, and he will transform faster. So yeah, that's the best slot for him. My bad. I didn't put it there. I forgot. But Lizard set is still good for him. If you want to go and burst at the start using his second skill, using his first skill, he does good amount of damage, gets crit rate, and his ultimate will be when you activate the ultimate, he will get the buff then he will not get the buff anymore. It does not work anymore. For Kikoro SR, the same. For Kaguragi, also the same. He does a great amount of damages. Plus, because it gives him an attack buff, everybody, this is a dot and this is a dot, so they deal the most damages from their dots. Because of the dot that he applies, it does damage according to his attack, and this one buffs his attack, and and he gets crit rate and increases his damages. Similar to him, also go for Tay. Tay is super underrated. It's one of the best damage dealers as well for SRs in the game. And for Reno as well, he needs, normal Reno, he needs crit rate. It doesn't work with crit damage. You need to buff his attack crit rate, but he doesn't survive a lot. His base HP is super low. This is for Lizard. Now, we're gonna talk about Fungal. And Fungal 2 units are a must on them because they do not need crit rate, right? They do not need crit rate. This is not Mina, this is Rin. My bad. It's not Mina. You see, I didn't put Mina here. Why? I'll be talking about it soon. So, because Reno gets a lot of crit rate, plus from his weapon, you don't want to build him on crit damage. What does Fungal do? So, attack also the same as Lizard, and you gain crit damage at 60% almost, which is huge. Before the equipped unit activates ultimate, applies damage dealt by 25%, just like Lizard, but this one with crit damage, not crit rate. Absolutely mandatory to play it on Reno. If you have dupes on him, if you have dupes on his weapon, I will tell you Fungal set is the best. For Mina, absolutely best in slot. This set was created for her. As we know, with her passive, she increases her crit rate to 100%. She does not need crit rate. She needs crit damage. Then she's gonna deal insane amount of damages. You can play anybody if you have them on crit rate above 50 to 60%. You can play them on Fungal, so they will increase their crit damage. Other than that, play them on crit rate. Spider set. Why are we like this? Okay, let's go like this so we can show you the whole shit. Okay, Spider set, increase of attack and effect hit rate. This one is good for Reno as well. You can play Reno on this set. Why? Because you want him to always apply this. Now, other than that, it's not for the effect hit. Apply this one. When the equipped unit attacks a kaiju that is already having a debuff or status, any kind of status like freeze, slow, whatever it is, or stun. The equipped unit damage dealt is increased by 25%. But you don't have crit rate or crit damage here, you have effect hit rate. If you lack that crit rate and you want to play it on crit rate, Reno also works here. But because you're going to get the 25% here and here on Fungal and Blizzard, why you want to play it on Spider? The only units that I can see them benefiting from them is somebody like Izumo. Why? Because he applies with all of his skills debuffs on the enemy. 3 types of debuffs, so he will increase his damages all the time. Plus effect hit rate because 2 of his, I think 2 of his skills are at 80%, so he will be at 100% all the time. You can play it on Iharu as well. You can play it on Tei because she applies the fire at 80% rate and you want it on 100% rate. KG, absolutely, he stuns by 80% chance. The units on his ultimate, you might need to play it like, you want to play this one to get the effect hit rate to 100%, so he stuns all the time. If you want to play it as well, on Mr. what's his name, Kota, you can play it on him because he has 80% and you can upgrade him because of his freezing and his ice to 100% and also deal damages to these units that has these status. But again, it's not the best for them. It's maybe good for her because she gets the attack and she deals the damage according to her attack with the dot. Plus she will amplify the damages. I think it's the best for her and the best for him if you don't want to play him as support but as a damage dealer. But he's a support. I highly recommend do not play them on this set. The best set for him, I said it there before, which is one on HP or on speed because you want to rotate with that. On HP, I think it's the best for him. For Tei, I think the one with the crit rate will be absolutely nice for her. This is, I think, one of the mediocre ones. If you want effect hit, you might play it. This is specifically for you to, if you want to integrate a character or a support from being a support role to a semi-support DPS role maybe or into a carry, you can transition them with playing this because it gives them the attack, it gives them the extra damage by dealing debuffs, and most of these supports that we have here that applies debuffs actually will benefit from the 25%. I don't find it a game breaking or that a game changer. I think in my opinion this is the most situational set, not the worst set. There's no worst set. Every set it has its own purpose, but this is super situational. I would say that the Lizard set is the most one used by the carries because it gives you the crit rate and we lack a lot of it in this game. Fungal is for characters that has a lot of crit rate but they need crit damage. Bovine is for strictly for characters that needs defense, for characters that needs, they apply shield. Wyvern is to give speed. It's absolutely huge. This one is really, really great and it applies also attack to everybody on your team. So this is the best supportive one in my opinion. And if you want to, you're supposed to be tanky, you can play them on end set. It does not matter, it's not wrong. And these are the best sets, or all of the sets in the game. And yeah, that was it. That was it. Finally, we did it. We explained everything. We put everybody. Now, again, I'm not saying this is a Bible. I'm not saying this is the best thing that you can do. I'm a genius. I made this. No. This is just me putting them in charts, explaining them, and explaining the characters that is relevant to them. In your head, if you find another way, you want to put another unit on a different set, on a different category, you can do that. It's up to you, because it depends also on your investment. So if you're duping up Reno and having him at 3 or 5 or 6 copies, whatever the copies, if you max him out, you can play him on Fungal. Now, if you don't have him on Fungal, or if you don't have him duped and you have 1 copy of him and 1 copy of his weapon, you want to play him on Lizard, right? Because this is good. Now, there's SR or 4 stars weapons as well that will give you crit rate. You can put him on crit rate on the weapon and put him on Fungal on this one. So it depends on your build, right? On each character. But I tried my best. This is what I came up with. It wasn't easy. The testing took a lot of time. And yeah, happy days. And that was it for me. If you want to tell me anything about it, just talk to me on the Discord. Join the Discord. It's in the link down in the description. Or maybe leave a comment. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.